the Richard Carr Buick GMC Cadillac Sikkim 365 Radio Baylor Football Tailgate Show. Brought to you by
Texas Farm Bureau Insurance, protecting Texans since 1952. IdealMRI.com. Premium quality MRIs. Convenient, affordable. That's Ideal. Edward Jones Investments. With agents Ben Erlinson, Brad Wilson, Tom Albers, and Cam Heathcott. Makes sense of investing. Southwest Sports Medicine and Orthopedics. The team physicians for Baylor Athletics. Our goal is to get you back in the game. Stonewood Dental. Your comfort is our priority. Richard Carr Buick GMC Cadillac. Your friend in the car business. The Willis Law Firm. Premier personal injury and product defect trial lawyers.
Play fake into the corner of the fade. Intercepted by Kalen Barnes. Down the sidelines. He's going to step out.
Petty Clinic Low T, helping you become the high-performance man you want to be. Pioneer Steel and Pipe, metal buildings, metal roofing, steel and pipe. The Pioneer way since 1943. Baylor University, where lights shine bright. Allen Samuels Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram Fiat. Come by, let's be friends. U.S. Army Waco Recruiting Company, 254-598-8131. First National Bank of Central Texas. Bird Culchin Ford, your home for Texas-built Ford tough trucks.
Over the middle on the crossing pattern, it's complete. It's Tyquan Thornton. Tyquan can go. Look out! Down the sidelines. A cutback and some power down to the 5.
Here's David Smoke, Paul Catalina, and Craig Smoke.
Well, it looks like we're finally going to get this 2020 Baylor football season underway, and the debut of first-year head coach Dave Aranda, who was hired back earlier this year when Matt Rule took the job with Carolina in the National Football League. 6:30 the kickoff against Kansas. Kansas and Baylor. Again, Baylor has a dominant edge in the series, 15-4 all-time. The last time that KU beat Baylor was 2007. And in the last, 9 times they've played, Baylor's won 10 straight, and 9-0 all-time against Kansas in Waco at Floyd Casey Stadium and now McLean Stadium. Good afternoon. We're live from our studio at 101 Elm on the corner of Martin Luther King and Elm Street. Craig Smoke, Paul Catalina, David Smoke, Armstrong Sims runs the mothership. We'll check in with the tailgate party over at the Brazos parking area across the street from McLean Stadium. We'll hear from Jeremiah Dickey in the athletics department, and also Robert Brewer on Charlie and Dave Aranda on the game with Kansas in this opening week. We have already seen what we thought we might see this week and this year. Expect 2020 to be bizarre in many ways. It has been, and we also saw that today in the Big 12 with Kansas State, a shocking win in Norman after being down big in that game. Georgia trails Arkansas 7-2 at halftime. We will probably see the unexpected. Baylor fans hope it's not today here in Waco.
No, and look, we've seen kind of what should be a back-and-forth Texas and Texas Tech game. Texas Tech's made 2 huge plays on special teams, only to turn it over. So I think that's the football we're going to see around the country. It's going to be kind of weird. It's going to be kind of wacky. People are adjusting to playing other people, and it's not a normal offseason, and we're seeing that play out today. Spencer Rattler was reckless with the ball a lot today, and it cost Oklahoma. So, again, you never know what's going to happen, especially in 2020.
I thought Spencer Rattler would maybe be the most reckless quarterback performance I've seen today, but then I've been watching Alan Bowman for the last hour, and he has single-handedly kept Texas Tech from taking the lead against Texas. They've been able to capitalize on special teams turnovers, only for him to throw a pick twice right immediately afterwards. So they trailed by 10 at halftime, and quite frankly, Tech should be up in that game. But again, Bowman, even with 3 touchdowns, has thrown some brutal picks. So, yeah, I mean, this is the early season gremlins that you got to get out, and you don't know who's more prepared than anybody else. I mean, Oklahoma looked like they were in cruise control, and then here came K-State with, 3 big touchdowns, and Oklahoma had no answer for it. So, yeah, I mean, this is one of those just kind of we'll see how it goes types of things. And, normally you walk into a game against Kansas and you feel pretty confident, but I think looking around the country the last couple of weeks, you have to be on your A game and you have to have your guard up.
Well, we'll find out whether or not Baylor not playing any non-conference games makes the difference tonight against Kansas. And Kansas, of course, had an opening loss to Coastal Carolina. Also, it has not been the best of weeks when it comes to Baylor athletics. Soccer lost their opener, soccer lost, and then volleyball, which last year was number one in the country most of the year, they were beaten at Kansas, by the way, in another athletics department game. Graylin Arnold has been activated by the Eagles, Jermichael Hasty by the 49ers, those two former Baylor Bears having an opportunity this weekend in the NFL. The mini helmets you see on both sides of us, Wade Barrow, those are Wade Barrow's mini helmets. We appreciate that. And also that customized Sailor Bear helmet as well that we have. We appreciate the setup with all of that as well. Elsewhere in the Big 12, Iowa State beat TCU 37-34. TCU scored with no time left. Max Duggan came in, played well, did not start. TCU, though, only had a total of 99 yards rushing, even though they threw for 400 yards. Texas 31-21 over Texas Tech. That game at halftime, and then also, 31-21, is that right? 31-21 at the half. And Oklahoma State 20, West Virginia 7. That game at the half as well. We'll get into some of the top 25 games momentarily. Now, we will check in at the Brazos parking. Jeremiah Dickey, after they're going to have the parents of the players are going to have a prayer over near the RG3 a statue on the south side of McLean Stadium. Then Jeremiah will join us soon after that as well. And don't forget, following the game, Grayson Grunhafer and J.D. Piquel will do the post game. Paul will be involved as well. As far as soon as the game is over, we'll open lines up to you and also have the post game and eventually some of what both Coach Aranda and other players have said at the end of the day. So anything from today in college football make you wonder about Baylor and Kansas? Are you still pretty much where you were yesterday when we ended the show?
It seems, sometimes it's just one of those days in college football, but I think this is going to be one of those seasons in college football. So, yeah, I still think Baylor is a very much more talented team. Kansas does have the advantage of having played a couple weeks ago, and Baylor hasn't played anybody. So I don't think it's going to be one of those games where you're looking, man, that was really a beautiful display of football for 4 quarters. I think it's going to be a little rough around the edges, but I still think, I think Baylor wins considerably today.
I think Baylor wins. I don't know by how much. I think it should be somewhat comfortable, but again, we really just don't know. One play can turn you sideways pretty quick. So, just the way these games have unfolded today, predicting college football this year is a really difficult task. And I don't think anybody, even those who are labeled experts, are really experts on what this year is going to really be like. It's crazy. So expecting the best. Again, I have more confidence because I think this extra time has actually been a benefit. But my big question will be early on in the game. Like, for example, today LSU's trailing Mississippi State. Mike Leach was uncharacteristically running the ball a heck of a lot in the first half, and people were like, what is he doing? He's like at 3rd and 7. He's running the football. Well, it's halftime, and LSU's defense is absolutely gassed. They are gassed. So there's some method to that madness there and a little bit of chess there. And so I'm interested to see, how Baylor looks physically, conditioning-wise, and also just is there sloppiness when it comes to penalties and holding and things like that those gremlins they have to get out early on. That's my big question.
Yeah, because we saw that, and we saw that from teams that have already played in a game. So much less those who have played are still having problems with that. We saw a lot of communication problems, and we saw it, of course, even in that game in Norman, but also the other games earlier today as well, the Fort Worth game that TCU and Iowa State. So Armstrong Sims runs the mothership. Here is how we can hear from you on our text line. 254-339-1122, brought to you by Riverbend Liquor and Wine. Also, we will have an opportunity at some point. We're going to try to get the lines open for you as well, to hear from you as well. 254-339-1122. We will hear from Jeremiah Dickey, as I mentioned, Dave Aranda, Les Miles, and also today we'll hear from Brazos Parking because in fact, Paul, you were over there. Brother Beer was there. Milo all day had that $12 if you ordered online. The food, the food that was there in the Brazos Parking, and then also $20 today if you did not get online. That's going to be going on throughout the rest of the night. And they had that last night at 6:30. They were already starting to set things up over there, so the night before the game as well. So we come back. We'll check in with the Brazos Brazos parking. Paul, you were there, though.
Yeah.
It's about 50% of what the capacity would normally be right now, and I'm sure it starts to – I tried to go over the bridge. Mm-hmm. I went over to that 7-Eleven right there around just off of Franklin, and you got to go down a little bit, just off of 35. And I made the mistake. I said, I'm going to go right and go by McLean Stadium, the Brazos. Of course, they're already starting to stack up some traffic. And by the way, you probably know this, but University Parks – from the west side of 35 is you can't get through University Parks. Mm-hmm. That's still a dead area, literally. So that's going to be stacked up. So it'll be interesting to see how you maneuver, but you know that going in as well. So be careful with it and be smart with it.
Right there at University Parks, like that main road onto McLean Stadium, they don't even have the traffic lights working. They've got a cops station, and they're like letting each group go, 2 minutes here, 2 minutes there. So, you're probably going to get stacked up around the stadium because of the way they're doing it today, but just be aware of that.
903, Paul, are you rooting for Kansas?
I don't know why they would say that.
I mean, are you wearing blue?
Yeah, does all it's in the blue spectrum, but it's not the same blue.
I saw what you were doing. You had your bookie on the phone. You were saying, hey, give me Kansas and the points. I mean, you're not Armstrong.
I mean, I guess if you wear a color that's adjacent to something, then it's the color of the team. I mean, it's blue.
I have always had rules when we do shows and games, right? And Craig's got his Sikkim 365 shirt. I have one that's at the laundry, at the cleaners, and I forgot to go buy there in time today, so I'm wearing neutral gray, right? That's what I always do.
I have represented in a major way. I don't wear yellow a lot, but I am today. And also, we were talking about this the other day, these nifty Sikkim 365 shakers, thanks to Brian and Ashley for hooking us up with these. These have been awesome as well. So I'm geared out today for sure.
All right, so we will see the unveiling of Dave Aranda and Baylor football at 6:30 against Kansas. When we come back, how are they doing across the street at the Brazos parking? You saw Hobby Howe and his setup, among others. John Maddox, Edward Jones, our good friends. Obviously, Brad Wilson and Ben Erlinson, Tom Albers, and Cam Heathcott, one of our sponsors of Sikkim 365 Radio. Hope you've had a good day. It's a beautiful day. And Baylor and Kansas at 6:30. Let's check in on the Brazos parking when we come back. This is Sikkim 365 Radio. Boots add protection. Good boots help you climb better and move forward faster. And when your son or daughter steps into the boots of a U.S. Army officer, they also learn how to lead. In these boots, they'll gain more confidence with expert training in one of more than 150 occupational specialties. In these boots, they'll stand a little taller and lead a team with diverse backgrounds and areas of expertise to successfully accomplish whatever challenge comes next. In these boots, they'll earn respect with valuable experience from day one that will give them solid footing for success into the future. Highly qualified candidates who earn a spot on our team can receive comprehensive health care coverage, college tuition assistance, and a bonus of up to $40,000. See all the things your son or daughter can achieve in our boots at GoArmy.com. U.S. Army Waco Recruiting Company, 254-598-8131 or 254-776-1543.
What season is it? It's truck season at Allen Samuels. Ram trucks are raring to go, ready to work and play, and all feature the best deals of the year during Ram Power Days. Come get your brand new Ram Lone Star at Allen Samuels with 0% for 72 and no payments for 90 days. Or choose up to $9,250 in bonus cash and incentives. Ram, the highest pickup owner loyalty in America. Shop, apply, buy online. We deliver. Ram Power Days at Allen Samuels.
From the first workout to the last practice, sports is an incredible challenge. Hi, this is Dan Ingham with the First National Bank of Central Texas, and we're proud to support each athlete, every parent, and our educators. From families, small businesses, to the biggest industry, we're here to help. With remarkable products like First Free Checking, we've got banking ideas that fuel big dreams. The First National Bank of Central Texas. Familiar faces making local decisions.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
At Ideal MRI, we feel blessed to be part of the Waco community. We're a small family business here in Central Texas. At times like this, the cost of healthcare has never been more important. And unfortunately, significant illnesses and injuries still occur. And that's why Ideal MRI is open and here to serve you through this difficult time. So if you need an MRI, ask your doctor about Ideal MRI. You can schedule online in minutes at idealmri.com or call 833-IDEAL-MRI.
Hey, this is Bryce Petty, former starting quarterback and two-time Big 12 champion, and I know firsthand the importance of being in top shape both on and off the field. So listen up, men. If you're feeling beat down day in and day out and looking for that high-performance edge that separates the men from the boys, then look no further than the Petty Clinic Low T in Waco. Petty Clinic is a comprehensive men's healthcare clinic with an atmosphere catering to men. Board-certified Dr. Kent Petty has a special interest in offering the highest quality medical care to men of all ages. Some of the services offered include screening and treatment for low testosterone or thyroid, infertility, high blood pressure, diabetes, high cholesterol, sleep apnea, while offering comprehensive wellness exams and complete men's health lab panels. High performance men, remember, it's not just a Petty thing. This is Bryce Petty, encouraging you to reach out and Google search Petty Clinic Low T or go to pettycliniclowt.com and get your complimentary lab screening today.
In the market for a quality metal building? Since 1943, Pioneer Steel & Pipe has helped Central Texas residential and commercial customers with metal building design, panel options, building components, and trim options. Pioneer Steel & Pipe's residential line is energy efficient, offers low maintenance, reduces insurance payments, is impact resistant, and carries up to a 45-year limited warranty. In addition, they can also help you find a metal building contractor for your project. Pioneer Steel & Pipe with locations in Waco and Bryan and at pioneersboys.com.
This is the Richard Carr Buick GMC Cadillac Sikkim 365 Radio Baylor Football Tailgate Show.
Here's David Smoke, Paul Catalina, and Craig Smoke.
Again, the Big 12 right now, Texas Tech and UT about to start the second half. Longhorns up 10 at halftime. Two really bad Bowman interceptions in that game. Oklahoma State at halftime, 20-7.
Actually,
at halftime over West Virginia.
Muff punt, Texas Tech just scored. So,
did they really?
Yeah,
absolutely.
So
another special teams play by Texas Tech, huh?
Here's the deal with this game. If not for special teams, Texas Tech wouldn't be in this game. Mm-hmm. If not for Alan Bowman, Texas wouldn't be leading this game. That's basically the story of this game. Yeah.
So, we're just now watching it. Texas Tech, I guess, went 3 and out, but a muff punt. And a muff punt, the thing about a muff punt, it was kicked into the end zone. It was kind of tapped into the end zone, recovered. Sometimes they can still go back to the muff, but it looks like Texas Tech's now all of a sudden within 3.
And how nice is it to be able to just look to our left and see that? Yeah. Like at our old setup, like we did have, like there was the TVs at the, the pregame tents or whatever. They were kind of spread out a little bit, and that was cool. You could walk over and catch it, but we can just look to our left here. It's pretty awesome.
3 beautiful flat screens right over to the left. Armstrong kind of controlled what we get to watch. And we're now joined by Frank Colley. He's a Baylor graduate and a part of an attorney and a law firm. He's over at the Brazos Parking where Ashley, Colt, Brian, and all of the great folks at Sikkim 365 have their setup with Milo all day as well. Frank, thanks for jumping in today. Wanted to check in the opening game. Finally here. What's the feeling from you and others as Baylor gets to start their season?
Well, Smoke and Craig and Paul, glad to be on. First time, long time. The atmosphere is great. I want to preface what I'm going to say with this is the greatest day. It's great to have Baylor football kicking off. It's like a sense of normalcy coming back to us. It's really, really, really a good day for Baylor football fans. That said, it's kind of a strange feeling. It's sort of a post-apocalyptic Waco. Martin Luther King is empty. The sheriff's directing traffic look like they could be playing cards out in the median, and there are, the tents are few and far between. So it's nothing like normal. But I guess it's 2020, and nothing's gonna be like normal. But it's really great to be back to having a Baylor football game, and I think that's kind of the feeling amongst the folks that I'm talking to out here at the Sikkim 365 tailgate. Is that we're just all glad to be back here. We're glad to be going into a Baylor football game at McLean Stadium. Even though it's a little bit weird, it's a really good day.
Well, Frank, what's the tailgate vibe like outside of that? Beverages, food, all that. How's it? If people are sitting there listening, why would you tell them to come out there? Just give it a little taste.
Well, the Sikkim 365 tailgate is as good as normal. It's every bit the way it should be. It's great. There's food, there's drink, there's fellowship, there's Baylor fans out here congregating, fellowshipping, and talking with one another. It's great. If you're in the area and you can't get into the game, come to the tailgate. It really is. It really is still a special place to be, even though it's not normal. It is. It's a lot of fun, and the folks are having a good time.
So I don't know how much time you've had to talk necessarily about Kansas so far, but if you have had the ability with fellow fans, what's kind of the pulse amongst Baylor fans on what they expect to see today?
Well, you know, the expectation amongst almost 100% of the people that I've talked to is that we're going to beat the crap out of Kansas. Having watched the first 2 weeks of the season and seeing Kansas State, get dominated by a Sun Belt team and then beat Oklahoma, and then Iowa State get beat by a Sun Belt team, and then what they did today against TCU, I don't know. Personally, I don't know what to expect, but I can tell you the feeling, the general consensus out here is that we're going to have a big day.
Yeah, I'm not. Go ahead.
I'm not sure. Just what I've seen in the first 2 weeks from these teams, and the ups and the downs and the vicissitudes, and I don't know what to expect, but I can tell you the folks out here really expect a big day for Baylor today.
Yeah, isn't it interesting? Because you don't know. And if teams have played, some of them have still stunk it up, or teams who played then played a lot better. And then we saw what Oklahoma did, even though they played earlier this year. Frank, again, right there across from McLean Stadium, of course, it's a strange vibe, as you mentioned, because of the fact that there's not as many people that would normally be there by now. That place would be packed for a 6:30 game. But we're here. And so when you finally heard the word there would be a game and the positive feeling from the lack of positive or any positive test, what was that like even for you?
Oh, it was amazing. And let me tell you a little bit of a story that I think is even more amazing. I have an 8-year-old daughter who is a giant Baylor fan. And we were coming down. We were actually on the road last Friday to come down to the game last week against Louisiana Tech. And I got the text that said, the bear signal that said that the game had been canceled. And I told her we weren't going to the game, and she cried.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah.
And so I didn't tell her that we were coming to this week's game until last night after the all clear was given. And she was so excited. And so the excitement, your question was directed to me, and I was completely excited, completely ready to go. My daughter, from 8 o'clock this morning until we left at noon, was asking me, "Can we go now? Can we go now? Can we go now?" So that's the feeling that we have in our Baylor family.
That's great. That's a great feeling. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate your time, Frank. Enjoy. I know you will. I know you are, and we'll see you soon. And thanks for listening to Sikkim 365 Radio.
Thank you.
Frank Colley with us over at the Brazos Parking, Sikkim 365. He's a Baylor graduate. He got his bar admissions from UT in 98, Baylor University, University of Houston, magna cum laude, and part of Whitehurst.
He's just a member of the Texas Bar.
Oh, okay. And Whitehurst and Colley, LLP, Frank Colley with us on Sikkim 365 Radio.
I know that because I'm a fake lawyer, as you know. I'm our resident fake lawyer.
What does that mean?
That he's just admitted to Texas Bar.
I'm sorry.
That's so.
Well, don't you have to be?
Yeah. So I mean, they're just listing. So if he got you met my college roommate Stacy.
Yeah.
He has taken the bar exam or gotten his license in a couple different states so that he can do his insurance law so he can have clients in those states. So you can do that.
Really?
Or some states have like reciprocity where you just have to take kind of a simple licensing exam. But
we're going to take you up until 6 o'clock and then give you an opportunity if you want then to get into the stadium and do what you're doing, or stay at home, get what you want, and then eventually again the post game with Grayson Grundhafer and also with J.D. Piquel today as soon as that game strikes 0.
So Georgia just kicked a field goal, and they did it right before halftime. They are the number 4 ranked team in the country. The current score at halftime, as the SEC gets underway this weekend, Arkansas 7, Georgia 5. 7-5 after that field goal. So been a bit of a struggle for both teams offensively today.
Yeah, it's just going to be you're going to have there seems to be 2 or 3 weekends when it was if everything had been normal where you'd get an upset Saturday, some that don't make any sense at all. What Kansas State did at Norman makes no sense at all, especially shorthanded, especially on defense, and yet you turn the ball over, you play sloppy, you have a bunch of penalties, it's going to happen. And that could happen. Lubbock could be an ambush for UT that everyone all of a sudden just pops right up to the top again. Who knows what's going to happen? They're 31-28 early on in the third quarter. TCU lost at home to Iowa State, and West Virginia trails at Oklahoma State 20-7. Baylor.
TCU has some offensive line problems.
But, yeah, they did. Yeah. They didn't run the ball well. 99 yards rushing, but they did throw for 400. And Duggan made a difference when he got in there, but they were too far behind. Purdy was okay, nothing spectacular. They had a kid run for 155 yards. So we'll see. And some of the other guys, of course, start to play tonight. Alabama's tonight, among others. A&M kicks off their year tonight against Vanderbilt. And Baylor kicks off their year against Kansas. When we come back, we're going to hear from Jeremiah Dickey right now at their RG3 statue on the south part of the concourse at McLean Stadium. They're having a team like parents, among others, who want to join them prayer at the statue. And then Jeremiah Dickey, who's there, will join us soon after that.
I want to pay a compliment to the Baylor social media team real quick because you mentioned in the parents, I don't know if you all saw it, but the video they put out of all the families of the single-digit players, and they had like Tyquan Thornton's family and Raleigh Tejada, and they were all just sending messages congratulating their sons on their hard work and earning a single digit. I thought it was really cool. It was a nice little touch on this opening game day for those guys, and just cool to see the parents so excited. So well done to whoever came up with that idea.
Yep, very well done. So here we go. Coming up in the 5 o'clock hour, we'll take you until 6. We'll have Dave Aranda around 5:30, Robert Brewer on Charlie, and that got a lot of traction yesterday, that interview about Charlie Brewer, his future, his current, his like right now, present. We'll have that as well. Plus, we'll hear from Les Miles, the head coach at Kansas, as well. Paul Catalina, Craig Smoke, Armstrong Sims. I'm David Smoke, and this is Sikkim 365 Radio.
Car has the trucks, man. They have the one for you. Got short or long bed, silver, black, or blue. Texas size selection, great prices too. Richard Carr, he has the truck for you. Carr has the trucks, man. He has the truck you need. If you want the best truck, you want a GMC. Texas size selection, great prices too. Richard Carr, they have the truck for you.
You want to know why Stonewood Dental is so successful? Listen to what happy customers have to say.
It's pleasant. It's different than any other dentist office. I really feel like they care. And it's not that you're here for 2 hours waiting on someone to take care of you. It's quick and easy, and I bring my kids, and my kids love being here too. They really love the treasure box. Staff is really nice and accommodating, real friendly. You feel more like home. It's not sterile looking. Everybody has their own personalized rooms with decorations and decor, and they'll even have a blanket for you when it's cold. I've recommended people to actually come here, and they are patients now. I really love it here. It feels like family.
Learn more, stonewood-dental.com.
With more than 160,000 alumni worldwide and counting, the Baylor family is growing. And through the university's expanded Baylor alumni program, the family is growing closer. With hundreds of local volunteers planning events in cities and towns around the country, you can gather with fellow Bears no matter where you are. So, get connected, get something started, get involved, and make plans to get together with Baylor alumni. Visit us at baylor.edu/alumni.
Southwest Sports Medicine and Orthopedics, the team physicians for Baylor Athletics, specializing in diagnosis and treatment of any and all sport-related injuries, celebrating over a decade of service to Central Texas. They tackle all surgical and non-surgical problems that arise from an active lifestyle. Trust the doctors that Baylor trust, and when injuries sideline you, don't wait for Monday. Join us at 8:30 on Saturday mornings for a post-game injury evaluation clinic. Southwest Sports Medicine and Orthopedics. We get you back in the game.
When we moved to Texas, we were like fish out of water. We didn't know anyone in our neighborhood until our Texas Farm Bureau insurance agent came to the house. She was so helpful and reassuring, a friendly face with that Texan hospitality I'd heard about. When we purchased a Texas Farm Bureau insurance policy, we knew we were making the right choice. We knew our family would be protected.
Stop by and see our agents at one of our 3 McLennan County locations.
Coverage and discounts are subject to qualifications and policy terms and may vary by situation.
How did Edward Jones become one of the biggest financial service companies in the world? By not acting that way. Financial strategies, one-on-one advice, it's a big difference. And that's why Brad Wilson, your Edward Jones financial advisor, makes sense of investing. Experience the difference for yourself. Brad Wilson, 250 Sharon Drive in Woodway, 254-776-4337. Edward Jones, member SIPC.
Texas Board Certified Personal Injury Trial Lawyer and Baylor alum David Willis and Baylor alum Parker Willis are ready to help if you or a loved one has been wrongfully injured in an auto accident, SUV rollover, industrial accident, 18-wheeler crash, or were seriously injured by a defective product or recall drug. Call them for a confidential and free case consultation at 1-800-GOT-HURT or visit them at texastriallawyer.com. Principal office located in Houston, Texas.
This is the Richard Carr Buick GMC Cadillac Sikkim 365 Radio Baylor Football Tailgate Show.
Here's David Smoke, Paul Catalina, and Craig Smoke.
All right, Baston, JB Bassoon, Batson on Twitter. Watching on YouTube. Excited for you guys. Excited to watch. Thank you. That's one of the things that is amazing about this journey we've been on. One, yes, we're on Sikkim365.com. We're also on the Sikkim365 app as well. And then there's Periscope. And then there's YouTube. And there are options of what you can either hear and or watch. And we appreciate a lot of you that are coming on today. Stephen Cohn, nothing better than a Sikkim365 pregame show. Thank you, Stephen. We appreciate you for that as well. We'll hear from Jeremiah Dickey momentarily. In just a second, Texas just blocked the Texas Tech punt. Ran teams that killed him, everybody. But Johnny Barron, you're right. He's now at Texas and scored.
All right, on the Riverbend Liquor and Wine text line, same day, we're getting and the drinks are pouring and the Jayhawk are cooking. Reminder to Jayhawk Nation, less is not more. And thank you for playing the prop.
Do you sometimes wonder, and I'm hoping
sometimes
Rex lives for years, but when that day, when his life ends, do they go into the buyout? Do they biopsy his head?
No, I actually think that I think when he's like 100 years old, he's just going to explode
into green and
in like a firework, and so there's not going to be anything to study. Explode, and it's going to look. And fireworks, gold like everywhere.
Plasma.
All over the place. That's what's going to happen when he's 100 years old.
How old is T-Rex, by the way?
30.
Okay. Yeah. So he energy. I'm just watching him. I do, and he travels. Moved back to Texas, but he travels a lot. It is amazing at his full throttle capabilities. I'm telling you, man. I'll tell you what, old Ashley, Brian, and Colt will get mixed up in it too now. Ashley was starting the weekend early. So we'll hear from that family prayer over at the RG3 statue earlier. So Baylor, Kansas. Robert Brewer, Charlie Brewer's father, will join us here momentarily. We'll hear from Les Miles as well. We'll get a couple more text line as well. I can't wait to see the new offense or what they can do with the quick fire, try to get the ball out earlier to protect him, but also try to get the ball out earlier and maybe more of an up-tempo. That they could do it at times, but they just didn't do it because the defense could do everything else.
Yeah, I think at times last year the offense kind of just relied on the defense. I feel like there were some drives you would see from time to time where it was almost like throwaway drives, and I don't think they were intentional to throw away plays on offense, but they'd get a big stop and come out, and it would just be a very get 4 yards, incomplete pass on 3rd and 6, and then get off. Here's the defense again. I think this offense is going to move the ball a lot quicker. I think we're going to see more big plays, and I think we're going to see a lot of guys involved. I mean, they have a lot of weapons on this team, so I expect Charlie to be in an offense as he can be at this stage in his career. I mean, this is well suited for him. It's something familiar to him. He and Fedora seem to have a great relationship, so. Yeah, I mean, I've loved everything that I've heard so far. I think Charlie earning a single digit was obviously a big deal for him and for the team. And so I'm very excited to see it. I mean, if it lives up to the expectations and it's something that's the icing on top of the cake right there, because if it can not be as much of a worry game in and game out, I think that will allow Baylor fans to enjoy the season a lot more. And hopefully leads to some really good things for Charlie.
From Stephen Vaughn, and he's in, of course, Stephen still is in the Virginia area. T-Rex and I are the same age, and I don't have that much energy. Stephen Vaughn, thank you, Stephen, as always. One of our very first, from the very first day. I'm sure the people in the medical school would love to look into what makes T-Rex tick. I don't know if they would, and that might be like another part of the dinosaur era.
No.
150 years from now.
Maybe he can do like we've done with our study of head injuries nowadays.
Yeah,
and not
T-Rex.
saying that he has one, but just
I do. He does.
Like the dissection of the human brain and like what. All that like they're doing with pro athletes who have passed now. But, T-Rex is one of a kind.
Jeremiah Dickey, Associate Vice President for Intercollegiate Athletics, a part of the Baylor Athletic Department, and he joins us. He was just at that Parents' Prayer at RG3 Statue South Concourse at McLean Stadium. JD, thanks for jumping in with us. What's today like? Is it a relief that we finally are here and the opening game is just a couple of hours away?
Hey, first, thanks for having me. I know a lot of us have been praying for this day and working very hard to get to this point, and so it is a relief. We've followed our process and our plan, and we're excited to finally get out there, and especially for these athletes. They've worked so hard, and the momentum and the adrenaline and off and on, I guess 6-7 weeks. In terms of when we were going to actually hit the field. And so I give them a lot of credit. So we're excited.
No matter, in this season's going to be weird continually. You guys have already experienced it, but no matter what that today finally happened, what was the sense for you this morning? Was it giddiness? Was it, where were you emotionally when you got up and realized it was actually game day?
There was a lot of emotion. A lot of, especially with my kids, they've, our year being, working in athletics, our year is based off seasons. And so it's been a little uncomfortable at home because they, this is not what they're used to. And so you could see the happiness and excitement when they got up. They got their gear on, they were ready to go. And that really hit me. You try to, you work a lot of hours in this industry like you all, and you try to share it with, your family as much as you possibly can. And so that meant a lot to me. And then there was, some emotion in terms of Mac and our leadership and, Coach Aranda, and come on. I mean, for a first time head coach coming into a situation like this and the way he has handled it with patience and grace, we couldn't ask for anything better. And then Mac, it goes without saying, and I'm biased, but he has been consistent from day one, and we were going to get to this point, and we had a plan, and we were going to work the plan. And so many people played a role in that. And so definitely a lot of emotion, and it may be that much more emotional when we kick off. We've been praying and planning for this day for a long time, and so we're excited.
Jeremiah, any sense of how the team or the staff reacted to the news when they knew they were for sure going to be able to play this game?
I think, and this is a testament to probably Coach, when every week when there's a lot of unknown and you have 3 tests, you don't want the guys, you don't want, our staff to get too high, and you also don't want them to get too low. And I think they handled it well. We knew coming out of Sunday and the test on Sunday, and from what I've been told, they had one of their better practices on Sunday. So I think everyone had a feeling that we were in a good position, and it just ramped up every day, and we would wait for, I think you all have talked to Kenny Boyd before. He's been our ace in the hole. He's outstanding in his leadership as it pertains to health and wellness. So every day he's sending us updates and text messages, and I know the guys were reading and hearing these from the coaches because they were really excited. And so as the week went on, you could see the emotion and the energy level every day rise, and that was really cool to see.
We've mentioned the news of when you finally were able to – you knew the game was going to be played, then waking up this morning, and then also where you are now at McLean Stadium. What will it mean to this athletic department to get a win? I know Kansas is a team that a lot of people know they've struggled, but they've already played a game, and that's kind of been something I've harped on quite a bit. What will it mean to just get something positive other than playing the game and winning the game?
It will mean a lot. I think, and I think we saw it earlier today with Oklahoma and Kansas State, and there's so many unknowns that we're all dealing with, and my heart goes out to many people in my role and our various staffs across the country. I think it'd be a great story to one day tell in terms of the behind the scenes and the ups and downs that we're all experiencing. So yeah, a win would mean a lot. In a lot of ways, getting to today is unbelievable. And many times over the course of the last 6+ months, we were told that it couldn't happen, and there was another hurdle and there was another hoop, and we just kept grinding, and we just kept getting over them and through them, and to the point that we eliminated all reasons not to. And so, I hate to, because I'm more, I'm probably one of the more competitive people, and obviously I want to win, but even for Kansas, just to be able to make this trip and show up and all those guys that go out on the field today is something that I think we've all have planned for and prepared for, and winning will be the cherry on top.
Jeremiah, what's the bond been strengthened? Has it been strengthened in the athletic department, top to bottom, that you've had to go through this? And I'm sure there've been some stressful times and some Zoom meetings and just not talk to each other for a little while, but but at the end of it, has this made you guys better as a group?
In Zoom, it's now that you can actually take the video off and mute it, and it's actually nicer, than a real meeting that you can't just get up and walk out. So I think in a lot of ways, I think it's helped us because there's and I'm so grateful. I'm sitting here and Drew Pittman's across from me. We're at the stadium, and he's been walking the facility, and I can't tell you how many people have stepped up throughout this process. I spent a better part of my morning texting people on campus, just thanking them. And it's taken a team to get to this point. And ultimately you see what people are made of. And I don't think it's for naught that everything, especially our staff, because we're a new administration, and we take this from Coach Rule, it's what's next. Give it to us because I'm not sure that there's another program in the country, and I'm biased, but I'm not sure there's another program in the country that's gone through what we have. And to get to this point and to see people like Jovan and Marcus and Cody Hall, who, don't talk a lot about, but is our CFO, and Drew and Henry. And I could go on for hours naming every single person that has gotten up every day with their head up and with a positive attitude and has gotten us to this point. And I can't thank them enough because, and then I think you've heard it from Mac, Mac obviously is our leader and but it takes a team and I've seen everyone rise up to this occasion and that makes me grateful as a leader in this department.
Jeremiah, I know that it's different, obviously the pregame situation and everything, but what has it been like just for you walking around? I mean, there are some fans out there, obviously. It's not the same, though. So what have you kind of picked up as far as the energy and the vibe amongst the fans out?
Just same with our staff, just excited to be here. And it feels today was the first day that I felt it. And obviously maybe because we're playing, but it felt like a college football Saturday. And so walking over on the bridge and even seeing our Baylor line, students, walking and getting in line and it's not at the capacity that we would all like, but our team did a great job of getting all the student tickets out and all the tickets that we had available to us to hit our 25% capacity. And my hope is that people enjoy the show and appreciate what it's taken to get to this point. And I have a lot of praise for our fans. They've been through a lot and every day they, for the most part, carried the flag and have been very supportive and patient. And there's a lot of unknowns today, so we've spent, I know Drew and I have spent a better part of our day just trying to figure out where maybe we had blinders on, and walking the facility and looking at things just because it is a little bit different. But, as we've done that and you see the fans and even the Kansas fans, there's just a level of excitement that you can tell this means a little bit more this year, and so that's good to see.
I know you got to go, and we do too, but sometimes, and I don't know how often you ever get, because you got your own things you're doing, but we have Mac on, constantly. He's amazing. The access is incredible. Yours is as well today. Are there times when he says something on the radio to us that you go, oh my God, like you?
You know this because it's yeah, and I have to be careful what I say because we have staff that listens to us and we get critiqued and we do the same with Mac and he'll come in and I usually know I unfortunately am in and out of meetings, and so Jovan and David Kay and Taylor Bryan and others on our communications team, they're listening and I usually get a text that says, hey, we probably should follow up after this. And then right after that, we get Mac. I can hear Mac's door open, and I could hear him coming down the hall. And then he'll say, hey, I said this. And then it starts, a round of, okay, let's be consistent and let's make sure that we're good. And he's so good, Smoke, and you guys know that. I mean, he's one of the best, if not the best. And I know I'm biased, but he knows what he's saying. He knows what he's doing. And there's so many moving parts, and the guy hadn't slept. It's 24/7, and I give him a lot of credit to get into today. So it's been good.
Thank you, man. Appreciate you as well. That's Jeremiah Dickey. You too. That's Associate Vice President for Intercollegiate Athletics. And what's great about all these guys and the women, Jovan, others up and down, even the coaches and athletic communications who want to come by here and will be here once we get everything set up. We're still kind of a work in progress with some things that are still arriving every day. When we come back, we're going to hear from Robert Brewer. Charlie Brewer's father was on with us yesterday. It was something we taped a week ago, Thursday or Friday. But some of what he has to say to kind of dissect Charlie's mind and body, that's next on Sikkim 365 Radio.
At Baylor University, students find their place to shine. They're faithful friends and inspirational leaders. They're championship teammates and independent thinkers. They're on the cutting edge of high tech and in the halls of history. If you want to make the world a brighter place, you can. And if you want to shine in your own way, you can. The spark you need is already inside you. Bring it to Baylor, where lights shine bright.
One size fits all. That may be all right for an adjustable belt or cheap sunglasses, but when it comes to your financial needs, no one wants a one-size-fits-all strategy. Cam Heathcott, your Edward Jones financial advisor, knows that his most important goals are yours. That's why he takes the time to understand your needs, knowing you. That's how Edward Jones makes sense of investing. Cam Heathcott, covering Conroe and Houston, 936-756-7717 or cam.heathcott@edwardjones.com. Edward Jones, member SIPC.
Ideal MRI is a small family business right here in Central Texas. We're open to support you while lowering the cost of healthcare bills. When you need an MRI, ask your doctor for an Ideal MRI. Visit us at idealmri.com or call us at 833-IDEAL-MRI.
Bird Culchin Ford has been in Waco since 1936. Ford, the #1 selling truck in Texas, 43 years running. And Bird Culchin Ford proudly supports high school football in Central Texas. And no better way to tailgate with a Ford than from Bird Culchin Ford, our sponsor of the Ford Tough Player of the Week. Locally owned dealership, online at bkford.com at 1701 West Loop 340 in Waco. The annual tent sale's going on right now.
From the first workout to the last practice, sports is an incredible and rewarding challenge. Hi, everyone. This is Dan Ingham with the First National Bank of Central Texas, and we're proud to support each athlete, every parent, and our educators. From families, small businesses, to the biggest industry, we're here to help. With remarkable products like mortgage lending, we've got banking ideas that fuel big dreams. The First National Bank of Central Texas. Familiar faces making local decisions.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender. Dodge is the highest-ranked brand in initial quality according to J.D. Power. Now at Allen Samuels, get special offers on Dodge cars and SUVs. Dodge Charger SXTs are now available with 2.9% financing for 72 and no payments for 90 days. Dodge Journey has 2.9 for 72 or choose up to $4,750 in cash and subprime offers. Performance Dodge from Allen Samuels.
Stepping into the boots of a U.S. Army officer can add confidence and leadership skills to your son or daughter's career path. See all the things they can achieve in our boots at GoArmy.com. U.S. Army Waco Recruiting Company, 254-598-8131 or 254-776-1543.
It was broad daylight. I stepped into a gas station for 5 minutes to grab a snack, and just like that, my car was broken into. They made out like a bandit. My laptop, my phone, everything. I called my agent to see what could be done, and he restored my faith in humanity. My claim was processed so quickly, and I was able to recover my losses.
Stop by and see our agents at one of our 3 McLennan County locations.
Coverage and discounts are subject to qualifications and policy terms and may vary by situation.
This is the Richard Carr Buick GMC Cadillac Sikkim 365 Radio Baylor Football Tailgate Show.
All right, we're back at the studio, the new broadcast center. It's just over a week old. And we're here until 6 o'clock, and then we'll all kind of go our different ways. I've got credentials. Craig, you going to go or not? What are you doing?
No, I'm not going to the game.
Paul's going to stay here. Or are you going to go home, go eat with Mom?
Yeah, I'm going to go take care of Woodrow.
Come back, and then we'll have Grayson and also J.D. Piquel do the post-game. I'll be at the game, and then also we'll be able to feed some audio from the Zoom of post-game with Dave Aranda and selected players at some point. As soon as the game ends, whatever the score, whatever happens, Grayson and J.D. will be able to take your calls. The same number we use all the time, 254-339-1122. By the way, the SEC, which has opened up quite a bit, they're about to get the biggest of all doses of what it's like to be able to what the Big 12 has dealt with for years. Mike Leach in Mississippi State lead LSU late third quarter, 27-24. KG Costello has already thrown the ball 43 times for 432 yards and 3 touchdowns. And what did Ed Orgeron say about the Dave Aranda defense?
I don't know if he ever, quite frankly, came out and said something exactly himself, like just little things here and there. But it felt like he's taking a little shot here and there on Dave Aranda and the defense not being up to snuff last year. But, you know, you lose Joe Burrow on offense and you lose the running back with Kansas City, whose name I'm forgetting right now.
Craig, Paul, the guy for the Chiefs. Who's the running back? Edwards-Helaire.
Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Yeah, so they lose him, who was obviously a big bell cow for them. But, LSU does have it in Mississippi State territory. There's a long way to go in this game. It's early third quarter, but, 17-14, Leach over LSU right now.
And Georgia still trails early third against Arkansas. They just fumbled. Georgia did 7-5. That is that score. Texas continues to lead Tech by 10. They have a third or fourth and 21 at their 32, 3:49 to go. Texas leads by 10. And Oklahoma State continues to lead West Virginia under a minute third quarter, 20-7. And right now, West Virginia inside the Oklahoma State 10-yard line, but it's fourth down and goal. So on a week ago, before the game with Kansas, I had a conversation with Robert Brewer as Charlie started what we think might not be his last year. And we discussed the additional year, his health, which so many people have liked to discuss and debate. Here's from Dad. This is from the father. This is from a guy who played the game and watched his sons play the game. My conversation with Robert Brewer.
Robert, Charlie enters what was supposed to be his senior year. And, of course, you and I talked, 3 or 4 weeks ago when the NCAA made that ruling that it could go another year. Has he even said anything to you about that, or is he just completely focused on right now and this year?
Well, I think he probably would answer that as he's completely focused on this year, and I'll get in trouble with him. But he and I have discussed it, and he's very excited about the notion of that, having the opportunity to come back. So I don't want to get him mad at me, but there you go, Charlie. It's out there. But I think all of these things are open to change, but I think he and I both recognize he could greatly benefit from another year.
He has a chip on his shoulder, but yet he's been successful everywhere he's been. Where does that come from?
Maybe from being the little brother and getting thrown in the bushes during the touch football games when he was a kid or something. I don't know. I mean, he grew up with, Michael and Garrett Gilbert and Baker Mayfield, and he got to play with all those guys, but he was the smallest guy, and usually was the one that came home crying, and so I don't know. Charlie, I think Charlie's expectations are high, and I think that can be good, but sometimes maybe that can work against you, and so I think he just needs to be patient and improve, and but maybe if that he can use that, then that's a good thing, right?
Yeah, absolutely. If you use it in a positive way to drive you or just maybe even sharpen you a little bit. I saw him, I told you this, it's been at least a couple of months, maybe longer ago, and I asked him about Coach Fedora, and they hadn't even really done anything. They couldn't, there's no spring drills, there wasn't any off-season workouts. They had only been back in Waco for maybe a couple of weeks, and I'm not sure really how much they had gotten done, but when I asked him about it, that little grin he gives you, he kind of, it's kind of like he's talking without saying anything, but he had a grin on his face. Has he kind of like transferred that same thought to you?
Yeah, a little bit. I don't want to, yes. I mean, I think he's very fortunate, and I think he realizes how fortunate he is with the transition that occurred when you lose a staff of that caliber, which was great, and then to have the guys come in that came in, and then to be able to get comfortable with them and mesh with them relationship-wise right away, and then he figures out what they're trying to do on offense, and he gets excited about that and how that kind of was some of the stuff he is more comfortable with and all of that. I think he feels like, this could go well. But then, you've got a lot of things coming in on the side that have disrupted it. No spring training. To me, everybody's going to have to be a little bit patient on this thing. There may be some kids 1 week to the next, 5, 6 guys maybe that don't play. And that can affect, when you're on a new situation, that can affect things. And so I just tell him, man, just dig down and work really hard, because I think his notion is right, that this could be really good. You have to be patient. It's going to take a little time.
Earlier this year, I was on the phone with you because there seemed to be this misconception, innuendos, thoughts that Charlie was beaten and battered. And listen, he's taken a beating. There's no question about it. His first 3 years, he's taken a beating. They had a 1-11 team. Offensive line had 6 scholarship players. But he's one of those that even when he scores, he might take a pretty bad hit at the goal line. But there was a lot of speculation about his health. I know that's made him very angry. What does that do with the father?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, obviously, first and foremost, his health, it comes first. And I'll tell you this that didn't get out there. The staff at Baylor, the medical staff, was outstanding. And we've experienced that with an older child, and he went to 2 different places. In one place it was great, and the other place it wasn't very good at all. And Baylor's as good as it gets. And so we found that out, and we had that cross-checked, and were completely comfortable with the care and the analysis and the rehab, all of that that Charlie was receiving. So once he went through that process, we were very comfortable that he's okay. But he did get knocked around last year, and some of it people knew about, and some of it was kept quiet from the public, and that was for good reason. And so he was dinged up, a bit, and he's okay now.
Well, so here we are. It's his last, we thought last season. I brought that up earlier. But your thoughts about what you expect. Your thoughts about what you yourself as a football player, father, parent, whatever, what you see and what you expect from this football team.
Well, I'll tell you, it's a transition year. I mean, you've got to look at the long run here. This is not going to be perfect starting out. The ingredients are there in the next year or two to do really well, but I think it would be a fool's errand to think that they're going to go out there and be a well-oiled machine right off the bat. It's just gonna have fits and starts, and so I expect what and Charlie and I have talked about is, man, you just want the effort to be great. Just keep playing, and it's going to be choppy, and if you keep doing that, you keep working at it, it's going to get better every week too. So I know that's not a very good answer, but I think there's a ton of potential there, and it's new.
Robert Brewer, the father of Charlie Brewer, Baylor quarterback, with us on Sikkim 365 Radio.
I'm going to tell you this. Over the years, and this now being my 39th year, which is kind of hard to believe as far as covering various things in sports, Robert Brewer, and Craig, you've been in the same car with me one time when we were having discussions about this, is about as transparent as a parent can be. And there's others, Jared Atkins' mother, Monique, who's been through cancer, and others, Sheila Henderson. And there's a great
Mr. Tejada.
Matt Holmes, Ravi Tejada, whose father has been not feeling great this weekend.
Keith,
Keith, excuse me. Rianthony, Keith, exactly. And man, I tell you what, some of these parents are just, you think their kids are really good, your young men are pretty good, they're unbelievable parents as well. Dave Aranda will join us next on Sikkim 365 Radio.
Car has the trucks, man. They have the one for you. Got short or long bed, silver, black or blue. Texas size selection, great prices too. Richard Carr, he has the truck for you. Carr has the trucks, man. He has the truck you need. If you want the best truck, you want a GMC. Texas size selection, great prices too. Richard Carr, they have the truck for you.
One size fits all. That may be all right for an adjustable belt or cheap sunglasses, but when it comes to your financial needs, no one wants a one-size-fits-all strategy. Ben Erlinson, your Edward Jones financial advisor, knows that his most important goals are yours. That's why he takes the time to understand your needs, knowing you. That's how Edward Jones makes sense of investing. Ben Erlinson, 100 North 6th Street in Waco, 254-759-8533. Edward Jones, member SIPC.
At Baylor University, students can shine in their own way. Or should we say their own ways? Because there's no limit to the ways Baylor students make the world a brighter place. Whether they're leading a student organization or following a higher calling, getting advice from faculty, or taking part in world-class research, pursuing their dreams, or working toward their dream job, students find their place to shine at Baylor, where lights shine bright.
Texas board-certified personal injury trial lawyer and Baylor alum David Willis and Baylor alum Parker Willis are ready to help if you or a loved one has been wrongfully injured in an auto accident, SUV rollover, industrial accident, 18-wheeler crash, or were seriously injured by a defective product or recalled drug. Call them for a confidential and free case consultation at 1-800-GOT-HURT or visit them at texastriallawyer.com, principal office in Houston, Texas.
In Texas, there's pea-size hail and baseball-size hail. Guess which one hit our house? We didn't even know where to begin, but we called our Texas Farm Bureau insurance agent, and he was so reassuring. He knew exactly what to do to get our house back into shape and our lives back to normal. Now, we're even more thankful for the roof over our heads.
Stop by and see our agents at one of our 3 McLennan County locations.
Coverage and discounts are subject to qualifications and policy terms and may vary by situation.
And I Ideal MRI, we feel blessed to be a part of the Waco community. We're a small family business right here in Central Texas, and our goal is to bring down the cost of health care while maintaining high quality. At times like this, the cost of health care has never been more important, and unfortunately, significant illnesses and injuries still occur. That's why Ideal MRI is open and here to serve you through the difficult time. We offer premium MRIs just like a hospital with state-of-the-art technology and specialists, but you'll pay less. Sometimes thousands of dollars less, whether you're using insurance or not. At Ideal MRI, we accept most insurance and there are no hidden costs, even offering financing if that's needed. Everything included in the price, and you'll not get something as a surprise in the mail later on. If you need an MRI, ask your doctor about Ideal MRI. They'll know. You can schedule an appointment safely from home online in minutes at idealmri.com or give us a call, 833-IDEAL-MRI, idealmri.com.
This is the Richard Carr Buick GMC Cadillac Sikkim 365 Radio Baylor Football Tailgate Show.
Here's David Smoke, Paul Catalina, and Craig Smoke.
By the way, thanks to Mr. Lance Aldridge. He's one that runs the agency that handles Richard Carr Buick GMC Cadillac. Of course, Richard Goff, Mr. Carr, all the great people at Richard Carr Buick GMC Cadillac, Richard Carr Motors for the pregame sponsorship. That was the first thing Lance said, I want to do that, and he is. Craig, real quick update on Lubbock.
Yeah, Texas Tech just scored 41-38. Alex Hogan, a 24-yard pick six. Or maybe that was the last, but regardless, Tech just scored.
Yeah, no, Ellinger was picked by Alex Hogan to the 10.
Yes.
And then they scored on the next play.
They scored, so Tech, and there's an official review, which is why the score's not updating, but it's 41-38 Tech as they review this play.
With like 4 seconds to go in the third quarter, Oklahoma State up 10, early fourth against West Virginia. Here's my conversation. As he tries to get his first game under his belt, he hopes it's a win today against KU. Dave Aranda.
Dave Aranda with us on Sikkim 365 Radio. Are you starting to wonder if you'll ever coach your first game as a head coach?
No, but it was a hard pill to swallow, though, for sure. Everything that went into that game and just the preparation, and I can't tell you how many guys just afterwards, Friday night, Saturday, just texting, calling with the majority of the team, just how many were saying, Coach, I was ready to play, just this one's kind of a dagger, and all of that is real. I mean, you felt it in the room when you talked to them, and so it's, it was a hard day, but we bounced back, and so, yesterday was a great workout, a lot of energy and excitement at the meetings I thought were great. And so this team just continues to impress, and the leadership of the team. And, we're looking forward to a really good week.
I was going to ask you how much, young people